عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. جماعة ashi lafiya kuma alhamdulillah sai mu ce yau kuma Allah ya samu gawan gaba ranar Asabar 28 January kenan 2023 inda za mu kawo muku kuma another edition na Al'amuran Gari. Kun ga mun zo haka dai za mu kawo muku labaran da ya shafi kasar mu Ghana cikin jaridunmu kuma da online during the course of the week. Musa cikin makon gade labarai da yawa ya zo especially with regards to the minority batun issues da ya zo da back and forth and all that. Mun duba mu tattauna. Sunana Jama Muhammad Ibrahim, kamar kada muka saba muna kawo muku Al'amuran Gari kan BEIN TV kowa rana haka ranar Asabar inda muke kawo labaran da ya shafi kasar mu ne da baki na ko bakona. Za mu duba mu tattauna mu kawo technical man kuma suna aiki yadda ya kamata ya samu gode kwarai. Yau kuma akwai labarai da suka zo da mu duba mu tattauna. Kamin dai mu ya kashe mu ce ko muna afuwa mu samu wani challenges kadan ba mu fara on time ba isa muna mun fata kuma muna wannan afuwa. Yau kuma mun duba labaran da during the course of the week da ya zo. This week dai mun ga the major issue da ya zo ne batun the minority in the National Democratic Congress NDC kenan, the biggest opposition kenan, suka kawo wani letter da suka kai my speaker of parliament a Babangi suna gwada kaman leadership na minority shine led by Haruna Idris. I believe so of course so an cire su wannan post aka kawo sababbin mutanen da za su zo su ci gaba da aiki cikin parliament na ta hanyar minority kenan. Sai ya zama wani maganganu da yawa, wasu sun yi ra'ayi da wannan, wasu kuma ba su yi ra'ayi ba cikin NDC. Ya NDP ma wasu sun samu magana sun yi saboda news na ya zo shi all of a sudden. To mun ji responses man da ya zo, mun ji mun taka MP Asawasi where they were not consulted. Mun ji wasu MPs kuma na NDC su ma sun fito sun ce kaman bayan musu shawara sannan aka doki wannan decision ba. Yasa ya kawo wasu maganganu da yawa. Har yanzu dai suna cikin sasantawa kan da za su yi su duba a kawo karshen magana saboda kowa zaman lafiya da yi kowa ya understand juna. Amma so far dai mun san Kesel Atuforsin shine Dr. Kesel Atuforsin shine minority leader. Muna duba wai 7 February day parliament ya reconvene, mun duba ko shi zai take charge ko dai before then ayin wasu sake dai kuma a bari Haruna kamar kan da wasu ke ce a reinstating su. Mun ga ya Asawasi kuma constituency na su ma sun ce a reinstate MP na Asawasi Honorable Muntaka Mubarak. Yasa labaran gari zamu duba kuma mun duba batun gold for oil inda muka ga Alex Mold shi ma former GNPC CEO shi ma raise wasu questions about the gold for oil. Mun ga Gina kuma former deputy power minister shi ma raise wasu the gold dealers na wasu issue batun da gold for oil ne. Muka san first consignment ma ya shigo. Sa wannan labarai biyun ga zamu musamman zamu duba mu tattauna. Kamin dai mu je into details dai introduce guest na mun doki wani short break ko mu insha Allah kasance da mu. Jama'a sannunmu da dawowa yau da kaman kada muka sani muna kan al'amuran gari inda zamu duba labaran da muka kawo dazu batun da gold for oil kuma da kuma NDC minority zanga-zanga din da ke na ko misunderstanding da yazo in the aftermath of wannan letter da muka gana an ka aika ma Speaker of Parliament Abagbagbe inda aka sake leadership na minority aka kawo kuma another leaders kuma da wannan Dr. ke Saratu Forcing kenan shi ke lead wannan yasa yanzu haka da NDC na da sabon leadership daga Parliament kamar kan na fadi February 7th day sun kuma back to Parliament mun gande ko shi zai lead ko dai an kuma wani sakiya kuma yasa wannan zamu duwa mutuwa so far dai mun fara da gold for oil mun ga zatutuka da yawa zamu kamar haka dai bari introduce guest na ba ko da dai shi ya ma saba zuwa nan ga Ziko Abubakar Newton kenan shi ya saba zuwa educationist ne kuma social commentator ne so dai yana zuwa ne yana kawo ra'ayin shi yana muna karin haske another guest kuma ya join mu asan wani yazo kuma shi ma ya zo ya kara ya kawo albarkacin bakin shi yasa Ziko an tashi lafiya alhamdulillah we gonna be first time in the year
yes like first time in 2013
yes 2023
sorry well kasada gade ko wannan kada ga kaman muna live like 10 years ago but then alhamdulillah mun gode ma Allah komi na tafiya yanda ya kamata
ni ya January da ya kare kenan yau 28
well January da wasu sun ce kamar January is a twin month January kaman
gobe Sunday still muna cikin January
kaman 60 days okay but then alhamdulillah mun gode ma Allah muna raye still kuma muna da karfi kuma
ana kai kawa
cikin ikon su Allah komai yayi ya zama daidai yes insha Allah
kamar kana da fadi bari mu fara na san major topic in this week da shine batun minority inda wannan letter ne yazo kamar wani bombshell da ya fi gaba da nobody saw it coming do wasu dai na san su yi rayi da wannan matakin da leadership party led by chairman su Asedun Ketia da general secretary Fifi Kwete da sauransu wasu kuma ba su yi rayi da ba special supporters in yake kira shi minority leader former da yanzu mu ce former man Haruna Idrisu da Asawasi chief whip shi Muntaka amma dai kamin mu zo kan wannan bar mu duba briefly dai kan batun gold for oil wasu sun raise questions ko especially former PCC Alex Mold Musa Yaki and the NDC Mungan Jina Pokuma Shima former deputy power minister Shima raise issues wasu gold dealers kuma so raise issues batunde gold for oil Musa gold for oil da shine government na dokan gold garin edoki ebia oil na zaje say outside the country yaje say kamar na one the first consignment in dezo 40,000 metric tons nga gold aka doki aka say sort of kudi dollars guda $40 million cash in da doki ase shako doki gold aka ja ka replace kamar bata trade kenan wasu way is a good call ya save inji vice president ma way ya duba ya taimaka batun depreciation of the cedi da wanga don be kawo pressure kan dollar nan that's the argument wasu kuma especially from the minority munji ASEP kuma suma sun raise wasu questions da wanga menene ra'ayin ka da general batun gold for oil inda muke dokan gold mu je mu sake da oil mu sai waje na mu kawo gani
okay wow nagode korai gabanin ci gaba da magana ina ga da mutanen Madina municipality baki daya starting from the Sarkin Madina the Sarkin Madina Zongo Chief Halida da Dagadu to kowa da ke wurin na ga da West Madina Development Foundation Wamadef the Concerned Madina Youth Movement da kowa da ke cikin Madina Zongo bayan mu ya muke kira su da kin kowa kuma muna jin dadi kaman kuna sauraron Baina TV sosai saboda Baina TV yanzu ya zama da TV for Madina and beyond to nzamu yi batun gold for oil butter trade ya fi mu je mu duba inda ya tanye mu ko bai tanye mu ba basically because mun samu close to about 4,000 metric tons, 40,000 metric tons, which in equivalence, we are looking at $41,000 million.
$40 million in cash.
No, it's $41 million.
41.
Yes,
I was say 40 million.
40. I think it's $41 million. Yes, $41 million dollars. Now, but the interesting thing, Nani, $41 million number by Kireshi Checking Bank of Ghana Foreign Exchange Reserve ama andoki gold akaje akasake da shi to ni wuri na gan wari question guda biyu if ya tambaya. First of all, because Ghana muna the gold reserves ama bamu the state owned yasuneshi refinery exploration so that means that gold in the muke zuwa mujemu saki ko zaje saki akarbi petroleum and fuel and muna zuwa museni from yes gold na ana jasi good ngana zai asi ana say from waran da ke
big suke gold mine
gold in chicken Ghana carried from the minerals commission ko spearhead one now
minerals commission the PMMC
yes,
so they in charge of
it in charge kan wadannan abubuwa kagan inda Ghana bai sai gold nan ne ka gane inda ba mu sai gold nan ne inda muna da gold reserves nan dungum da yawa za mu je mu kikire muna sayewa in exchange for the fuel na ga da wannan ba masala a cikin ka gane amma mu za mu je mu sai gold nan mu gane kaman well it a arrest the depreciation of the cedi now to one extent which is not extremely sustainable because wurin mutanen da za mu je mu sai wurin sunnan suma aikin da suke yin da kayan da suke use su doki su explore gold now are actually things that they also buy in the bar ya sune shi ba mu produce wannan kaya cikin garinga which means that in suma za su say definitely sun je su sake kudin nan chicken dollars, even though we are buying in Ghana cedis from them, they would also have to exchange their
account loan way suka mine come on gold in a company big gold company that's I think suka 1% suba Bank of Ghana
good
aka even with also small scale mining license ones so my office suka 1% na ongeza aka agents mona suke deal in gold na suba su da hanya su export to gold haka don suna dokan most of the wangana
suna dokan percentage na su ba Ghana very good
gold nan nam
ai Bank of
Ghana doki wannan gold nan da aka kawo wannan percentage
ai Ghana ya biya su ai Bank of Ghana ya biya su
definitely
ya biya su cikin Ghana cedis ko baka ba su an aka biya su cikin Ghana cedis ya sun je su yi da aiki ko baka ba in za su yi da aiki abubuwan da muke neman suke neman su yi da aiki na ai ba mu da shi yasa ya fi sun je sun yi sun sai waɗannan kaya cikin wani currency za su je su sai wannan kaya kayan nan ba cikin Ghana za su yi ba an sai shi overseas ne yasa still an sake wannan kudin na ai mai a sake shi cikin dollar a sai da kayan da ake nema yasa whatever be the case now in the immediate interim now yes strategy na ya arrest the depreciation of the cedi now ya stabilize shi kadan amma it is not sustainable.
How?
Yes, because koya akai there is this same dollar element in the pull and push in the play role. Yes, soon sake kudin na soon name su say raw materials and the zasu use to explore gold na mercury the kaya shin the zasu use the
ama wana ba government banya
ama okay mudoke shi kuma ni Bank of Ghana you are the gold dealer ko ba ka ba ka mini gold na ya fin biyaka ina biyaka na kudin nan me zaka je kai da shi
ai still yana cikin economy
ai ba ka bar shi cikin economy ka still ka je ka sai kayan da zaka zo ka still ka explore the gold nan saboda kai ka samu ka kuma ba ko ba ka ba raw materials
zaka maybe effect in the being come on they do keep, let's say $40 million JSA oil from, let's say, Dubai.
The strategy in the immediate term, the short term, Munsa Muafanishi. Shini, dollar numbezo bisa. Kuma gaskiya mun duba kaman dollar ya stabilize kadan. Bezo bisa kaman yende December November AJ bisa na. Yanzu be AJ bisa kanan ba because ya stabilize a bit because the Bank of Ghana is not pulling close to about $40 million, you know, from their reserves, the foreign reserves to buy.
I want you for just 20% of needs. It's a bit the one is significant. If maybe I do a long-term plan.
Very good.
Going for maybe 40,000 tons school.
Very good.
So maybe the next batch in the days as and when Muna in the
next quarter. Definitely next quarter, right? Good. Muna say gold now. Definitely suma gold reserve in the Eke yeah, it's a carrywa. That is with the dealers. And the dealers will have to go and buy raw materials to continue their exploration, to continue to give us gold and also satisfy their clients. Can you understand? Which means that dollar pull and push in the tashi. Kuma
still
amaba yanzuba. Maybe in the short term, Mobashi come on between 4 to 6 months. Yeah, have to kuma. So da yanzu gande muka gang kamang sidi nan ya stabilizing na. To da yanzu efi government edoki energy shiduka sa chicken mechanisms in there zamu yamuyi in the next 3 to 6 months na inde abin na kaman zai tashi anya an samu wani, you know, a little longer or medium term approach in the zai hold zai hold the CD depreciation na. Ama inde suna zama sagaga, then that is where the problem is going to lie, because then in the next 3 to 6 months and dollar ifara zuwa bisa kagani over the CD na to magana ya kuma back to where we were again. Now secondly, so they were share government yayi magana kamar the price of fuel in the zamu je mu samu na we would have it a little lesser as compared to the normal market price. Kuma gaskiya research ya gwada kaman karke
Jinapache they buy it at a premium by discount.
Yes, by discount.
Am argument in government in physical cash one physical cash come on could $40 million. Be do come out of the economic reserves in Bank of Ghana. It can Dubai in the agency first consignment take out. One physical cash in them. Pressure that are days who can $40 million, $41 million. One gold in a yachiri, one pressure can. So everybody demand for dollar.
In that short time, Kagani, in that short time. So the country will have fuel. The
first consignment is in the system.
Yes, I think it came somewhere around between 10th and the 16th of this month. Izo afara sirwa. Amamuda kama mungan kama beje down ba.
Where impact in the debate don't it's more like 20%. It's about feel impact.
No, there was no 20% decrease.
No, where impact in one account is just like 20% of the needs in Muta.
Very good, because in this
they affect fuel price.
Very good, and even in this short time, custom common fuel price increase. I think last week or mid last 2 weeks, fuel prices went up by a little margin, which means Kamamba Wanankuma also is also a pull and push. Bamuyamu alluding to the world fuel prices. Definitely more alluding to some of this dollar pull and pushing. So definitely, well, things yaje down, but unfortunately, Yafi, the government would have to set up and say so do by yen the zaya ai before wanga measure ngazeya outstay its usefulness now. Munsamu woni solid medium term mechanism in the Zambuya Mudokimu arrest the dollar over the city. Kuma it's very important because yaji kamangana yazubam produce komi muna say to the extent that in the dollar bisa abinchin the man the muki no man shi chicken garingama price yaji bisa. So these are some of the things that we need to look. I think it's a nice idea in the short term, but what we don't know, what we don't see is that its possibility of maintaining this same impact for the medium to the long term. I don't see it coming. Abinga is sustain Ghana for the next 1 year. I don't foresee that.
Gold, diamond are gold.
Yes, we may have gold.
Companies small scale miners, small and so now about the gold. It's always Bank of Ghana the the gold. Yes, I'm going to pay the law because even gold agents and one that's okay deal in gold trading Suma soon raise concerns. Come on, Abinga create musu problems, job losses, the meaning affect business. It's a government to do back and say a factor so much king wanga abu bomba kaba suma kukan su kuma kenan. They affect business. I check us to export gold, sources and energy. It's a one maybe government kwa do what the gold agents dealers and the surround the so much kuka kama wanga gold for oil shafi aikin suna. It's a few duba. Maybe a factor so in a way.
So these are some of the things that we are talking about. Kaganya factors in the way. Factors in so many ways. Kuma suba eba suzama sagagaka. Suba su name mechanisms that to keep themselves afloat.
Suma way may breed smuggling.
Very good.
They always find a way to beat the system.
Good.
So smuggle gold and
so you see what happens. It now comes back to the original position that I was still standing on, Kabamba. It is not about the strategy. The strategy is good, but then the issue here is the strategy can only last for a short term. So as Muna Giram strategy now outlive its usefulness, Yafi Yanzu Muna put down serious measures.
The government is doing that. Factor all those things
in order for us to so that lokacin da wannan gold thing smuggling zai fara je bisa waɗanda ba su samu aiki ba sun neme another loophole to find a way of selling their golds to their already clients in the kayakan then we rope in a very wonderful strategy. Kuma, I think the Ghana First agenda is something that we really need to seriously look at. Kuma, aside fuel, there are other things in the Ghana AK actually engage in using the hard currency. In the Zamuya Muduba, especially looking at policies in the EZO, come on, you can't price items in the foreign currencies in there. Now again, this is the time in the IFI, the Bank of Ghana, to actually look at it and then strengthen that thing. Kamankaje Hotel, misali, I'm pricing chicken dollar, she asaki, she abaka chicken cities. So that technically you are paying dollar, but just that you are actually paying in Ghana cedi. So whenever the dollar prices go up, I've been the kaya kasa maybe dark in the kaya kasa meshi probably muche way $100 in the first is about 1,000 Ghana cedis. Kakuma bia that same $100, but kaita bia 1,200 Ghana cedis, which means that there is this kind of pull and push in the base sink in well bar. And so it's ideal among the government of the day really looks at it such that muyamu solve Wanga issue once and for all, because a country like Ghana in the 21st century shouldn't actually be battling with currency depreciation at its main agenda, because Yafi da monkey when growth stage in there Yanzukomi now move very well.
So finally, your thoughts on it?
So finally, the idea is nice. It's not sustainable, but it can only be useful if only the government is actually preparing something along the line to make sure that when strategy outlive its usefulness bar, then when that strategy kick off, she enjoy the fuel that we are enjoying. Because if not, I think the foreign countries have lost interest in our credit system, and so I doubt if they would even be willing to give us fuel on credit basis. Yes.
Jamal wayo de muna kan Amuran Gari inda muke duba labaran da ya shafi kasar mu Ghana. Mun gane this week kuma da ya wuce an yi batun gold for oil ko oil for gold dai kowane cikin dai inda government ya kawo wani new policy ne da suna dokan gold ne su je su exchange for oil. Mun gan first consignment ya zo har yanzu ma an fara sere 40,000 metric tons, kuma value shi cikin $40 million kenan ko $41 million inda wanda aka save bai put pressure kan wannan dollar saboda zai bari cedi mu yayi karfi kai ya appreciate against the dollar ko bai bari cedi ne depreciate. Wasu kuma dai sun raise questions. Mun ji Alex Mode, former CEO na GMPC, ya raise wasu questions about wannan gold for oil. Mun gan Abdullahi Jinapo kuma shima former minister ne ko deputy minister na power shima yana batun energy shima raise wasu questions batun dai gold for oil. Mun ga yan gold dealers kuma suma sun kawo wasu reservations su about wannan suna gwada abin ya affect aikin su ya bari abin ya encourage ma mutane su smuggle gold out of the country. Isa wannan duka dai nasan government ya factor wannan duka make wannan kaman kan da dan wani jiko for the sustainable. Wasu na ce how sustainable is this form of policy da zai bari gold for oil ne ya stand. Har yanzu dai muna duban maybe next consignment zai zo zuwa har dai before the end of the year dai maybe munga impact munga government ya factor some of the reservations in the ko suggestion da wasu kuma suka kawo. Halwa yau da muna kai Amuran Gari suna na Jamu Muhammad Ibrahim inda ni da Ziko Ishaq Abubakar Newton social commentator da kuma educationist ne muna duwa muna tattauna. Yanzu haka dai bari mu duba batun Interparty Advisory Committee in the National Peace Council sun raise wasu question gwada NDC musan wani kwanacin baya sun boycott wannan IPAC meetings na ke inda political parties na ke meet electoral commission suke duba suke sassanta su agree kan some of the electoral issues in da za yi kagan za mu into 2024 elections ya fiya ce even the major political party yana ciki amma su ma sun raise wasu questions as at the time da suka fita suka ce so dai wa aka je IPAC meetings na electoral commission posture su da abubuwan da suke yi suna take ma decision ma sannan su zo IPAC na kamar wani rubber stamp ne suke yi yasa ya bari su ma ba electoral commission bai dokar ra'ayin NDC da sauransu kuma su ya da biggest opposition party yasa ya fi maganan su ya carry weight ya fi electoral commission ya accept input da suke amma so dai wasu na ga kamar suka je wannan meetings nan like electoral commission so tun doki wani decision sannan suna zuwa dai su fadi musu ne ba abinda ake yi yasa yanzu haka da peace council sun ce ma NDC su komo cikin wannan IPAC kagan zamu into 2024 elections menene ra'ayinka dai batun IPAC na peace council da NDC ya fi su komo ko dai they should maintain how kuma vibrant is the IPAC na my
well this is quite interesting. The formation of the IPAC basically was Yazo into play some time back. You know, look at in the I can't get the year, but close to about 8 years and beyond. Yes, and purposely for I understand. Come on, look at in the IPAC zone now. Angani come on, batun elections and electoral reforms. By I have one discussion chicken parliament. So with the parliament most of the time now it's about votes. And yazo a factor batun yazo itaba batun majority and minority. It's a batun election dukan now by aishi chicken parliament because akaishi wouldn't now one political party in the AK the higher numbers chicken parliament. Eduki decisions in duka over the minority. It's a create one committee. She is about interparty advisory committee. That's IPAC. A year is to pretend kind electoral reforms. The coming the exama about election. The zait as well the shigaba because definitely as time goes on, policies outstay its usefulness. Kuma wana bude ya fi shigo kuma augment what shortfall shaka create one. Which means that the purpose of creating the IPAC was basically to have a more participatory and democratic decision-making process.
I like the word participatory.
Yes, participatory decision-making process. One the keza kakauna ka nima zan kaunawa she mu ce okay wangan da ke kakaunga okay ya zamu ya mu yi mu ke wurin inda bai damu mu duka so that ankalin kowa i konta amma kaman in the few days nga information that muka receive is that the party in power, that's the national the New Patriotic Party, in one way or the other impose their decisions kagani on the entire political party divide. It's a command kafadi Sunaya Susamu a preconceived decision there. Ake soon a pick. But then Zua IPAC Azua Zama Ai Magana now is a mere formality. It's a IPAC Zua IPAC Yadi Yazama come on. One of the
so they was Kakawani Rai share disregard by the Rai.
Very good. So
is it the case? Kulu Yafi Rai da maybe consensus could
well Kagani Babatum Yafi Aira the Nawani Nashiko by Ira the Nawaniba. You know, participatory approach is all about all of us understanding that the decision that is being implemented is a decision for all of us. So nkema kakao idea now inni ban understand idea number it is incumbent on the IPAC to make me have reason kamamba decision there that pickinga is a combination of what you have brought, what this person has brought, and what the other person has brought all together. Such that muka meeting now musa kama abin the zai duka na it is in the interest of each and every one of us because rai mudukani. Can understand? So at an instance in the one is a ye tashi eche kama rai in the akabayrin be factor rai shi ba ko ba duka rai shi
and I disregard rai shi, then there is a problem with the committee and the committee would have to look at its methodology again and look at how they pay more attention to ideas in the mutani kekao. Maybe yo izama batu NDC Suzuki Iftoleshi. Maybe there are other political parties who also have those same argument way also political parties more on the IPAC kana basu those ama then the nzazo vote kan one issue kagani shares to vote against one guy esa also political party we fear change maso na chicken IPAC saboda sometimes decision making that
kagani ko wannan kuma ya zama someone's suggestion kenan which is legitimate, but then it can only be acceptable in the IPAC Sunzama Skowaya understand Kenshi. She aka place the rules of the game Okuma very well and transparent for Kowaya understand. Because I don't think that even though it's politics IPAC has stayed out for some time. Can understand? Yeah, leave. I think some time ago the MPP Kuma soon boycott, go some boycott money because soon smell one foul plays in the same thing. So Yazuya Zama come on 1 too many occurrence of the same behavior for opposition parties to feel like IPAC is not listening to them, and for that reason Yake look at in there. IPAC if a position kenshi so say understand come on in a play one supervisory role ko in a play one oversight responsibility role for all the political parties in relation to election chicken countering and that is where I feel Kamamba the Peace Council should not necessarily be convincing NDC political parties to be part of the IPAC. They should rather addressing the issue by getting IPAC to perform its role in the best manner that it can, in order for it to be more attractive or more okay for the political parties to feel comfortable command sooner wouldn't now. So when decision now has to now go back. It's nice and it's very good that the Peace Council is calling on the National Democratic Congress, that is the NDC, so come back to the drawing table, because we can't do anything about it. They have to go back to the drawing table. But the question here is, Anjara we table now in the Aki Kiran so very good. Anjara she.
But does it mean we have to go and I not to go and write accept? Could they kagani maybe soon Chinese times can disregard. So they were soon voting in some of the political parties in those for or against an issue. Maybe they go in favor of NDC so down could they one of our
Kaga only diplomacy in the if you follow. Now come on EC is autonomous on its own, Kagani, but then
and it's not binded or bound by maybe
very good
all the time. Amade soon yes
factor Kagani. So if indeed the electoral commission at any particular point in time is seen as being in bed with the ruling party, Kagani, then it means that IPAC should find a way Kagani of massaging this kind of situation, because I can only in your warrants in opposition says don't complain. In Wangakumeje opposition says we complain. That means that when IPAC na the country has not lived its usefulness. So Yafi Aneme Nde Wani authorities Niza Basu. So you also stand on their grounds to ensure Kamamba easy take warransu decisions in there. Oko one is suggestions in there I can conclude came from the committee level. Easy a fact and she in, then fine, that is good. So some of these things are some of the information they give to. I think that was where Akasamu won an issue of using transparent ballot boxes for voting. Say again that time it was the late finance minister
finance minister.
Yeah, the late finance minister. Kwesibochiko.
Yeah.
Kwesibochi.
NDC.
Very good. She ene mekudi akasei yasuneshi transparent ballot boxes in akakao. So these are some of the things that nagan kaman ye very mutume positive. And then look at the idea of the ballot box. It was something that all political parties ascribed to it. Suka che kaman unde one is a vote. Ngaka is transparent. When you vote ekwashi materials, unwanted materials, extra ballot papers. Ezo esa kowaya gani. Esa aishi transparent. And this was a wonderful suggestion that came from a particular political party at the IPAC meeting. In the Kowa A accept. She akayishi. Can understand? Which means that the committee is useful because then wayoba shichikin ankalin Kowa. Kowa maya ye kao divergent view shi. Ama umuru ka muya kama views in the mudu ka muka kao na a conclude shi. Sha doki one decisions in the muka carry ken at interparty because EC is supposed to play an independent role. It's a decisions the muka kao na it's a collective decision. Sha daga aja ba EC. She EC eduba mbe ya dawaronsu yafi fito back ezo about the reasons in the be and gan kama be ya edoki warada.
But in back the reason as at then before 2020 elections abinda NDC suka fadi batunde IPAC abinda sa suka boycott we kara EC days were expecting so at around May in 2020 NDC through then Deputy General Secretary Peter Otukuno Kenewe, we thought the Electoral Commission would have learnt its lessons. Now we have been called to another IPAC meeting on Wednesday, May 27th, 2020, with the same arrangement that we are going to have the meeting in two halves, with some coming in the morning and some coming in the afternoon. We think this is an improper way of organizing an IPAC meeting, and it gives one the opportunity to perpetrate mischief in the meeting. We think the National Democratic Congress cannot be part of that meeting if the Electoral Commission is refusing to put in place the proper mechanism to hold a proper legitimate IPAC meeting, which can be accepted by all stakeholders. Then NDC are not going to participate in Wednesday's meeting, and we have since relayed our concerns to the EC. Suna gwada wangani masalan da suke da shi kan EC matuma meeting man da za hold ngawa wato issues na ma how to win I one meeting the safi wani marance in two halves. All those issues they thought EC could have handled it better, so you also organize one meeting and they kamata amma kaman EC Beijing magana so wasu kuma suka argue kama EC she can decide how it to organize its meeting. Now today in 2 days su zama su ji maganganun da za yi. So these are the reasons as at May 2020 before my 2020 elections, and around that time kenan suka boycott wannan final thoughts suka kan wannan shemu.
So kagan that posture in the mutane suke argue kaman ECK organize meeting shi kaga ne yasa su 2 days su ji okay kagan it doesn't really sit well because this is participatory even from the design of the participatory program kowa yafi understand because bonso feel come from meeting discussion that we have from meeting maybe za ku zo ku ji abinda mu muka fadi na she ku je ku sai yanda za ku arrange for the next meeting na ko kun jina nanga ku jina nanga she ku je ku cucu ku waransu kaga ne so it doesn't sit well if the people have accepted, come on, it doesn't sit well. But because in some cases, in some focus group discussions, soon accept, come on, it is okay with them. Some too will feel, come on, when now is a political witch hunt for, you know, favor one political party. So I think it's a legitimate call in the IPAC if you Duba, a advice easy.
Even easy if you kira NDC so santa instead of maybe my peace council the Musa so my kids to ensure one peace the wanga one harmony. I'm bagan easy my fees to the one mataki to stretch one olive wanga leave suba NDC so they should do
well you are not far from the truth.
Because you cannot in the equation IPAC no matter NDC they are a powerful wanga.
Good.
One of the biggest opposition party ma.
Very good.
It's half to years to do but they submit is halfway with certain issues.
Exactly. You see you are not far from the truth. But I think the Peace Council is the best person to actually mediate between these two people because soon play more of an oversight responsibility on all that. But then now I expect remember if they are actually using the participatory approach, I use participatory approach in the best interest of everybody in the country. Because Bamuso create one precedence kuma in the sense that NDC kuma is all power.
That's been the problem.
Always
party in power is
she kuma check kama so the local MPP na sumashi NDC na esa muma za muzo mumashi so that one na cycle na ya no ba muso one na cycle eje on because muna run a democratic system. A democratic system nini najina wanga shemu duba yanda buduka za muzo together. It's something that the Peace Council is advancing in a very nice way. But then Yafi Aje address the root cause of the problem. That is where one party feels they are autonomous and with or without the suggestion of any other group. So that whatever they have discussed and decided on is what should go. One will not help the country.
Alan Zude muna kan Amuran Gari leader Abubakar Ishaq Newton Ziko ega kaura yin shi zaka dai muna duba batun IPAC in the Peace Council suna kira opposition party NDC kamar su komo back to IPAC meeting Musa NDC day somewhere in May last year last 2 years kenan last 3 years ma kenan 2020 kenan May 2020 around that time suka ce kamar su da ba su zuwa IPAC meetings in the political parties na suke meet su da electoral commission su duba dai su yi meet su sasanta saboda wasu issues electoral reforms ko da electoral problems a yi a magance kamin dai aje into election to yanzu haka da NDC dai they are not part of the wannan IPAC na to Peace Council ke ba NDC hankuri su kuma back to the IPAC meetings saboda ayi a duba sasanta saboda wasu issues da ayi a resolve shi yisi kuma dai muna duban ko su ma sun stretch wannan olive leave na su ya su duba dai su da NDC su dace kan issues da NDC area suna gwada so dewa suka kawo ra'ayin su ana disregard tankan ba doki ayi aiki kenan wasu kuma sun argue kaman yisi dai is not bound to accept everything the NDC for even though they are the biggest political party and they have to meet somewhere there along the line they so to understand you nesa second issue da muka duba kenan your IPAC Peace Council Electoral Commission NDC inda za duba da za ya su zama su yi baki guda a dace halwa yau da muna kan al'amuran gari inda muke kawo muku labaran da ya shafi kasar mu Ghana kuma ku kawo ra'ayinku kan WhatsApp line na inda za ku kuma kawo ra'ayinku batun issues na muka daga so far da mun duba batun IPAC muka duba good for oil kenan inda muka duba CEO former CEO GMPC Alex Mold ya raise wasu issues Jinapo kuma ya raise wasu issues and gold dealers na kuma sun raise wasu issues kan batun good for oil government kuma na ga the best policy ya bari cedi mun nan ya appreciate ko dai bai depreciate yanda muka gani kwanacin baya isa ya taimaka ya save Ghana wannan pressure mu ita use dollar hard currency muna zuwa mu sai oil kasan waje isa wannan two issues muka don zaka da bar mu je the major news ko issue of the week wannan da Musa hali yau ma ana cikin shine muna zaune during the course of gaba da aka ga wani letter da ya fito cikin media aka gan kamar NDC party sun kawon letter suka address to the Speaker of Parliament Albert Bangui suna gwada leadership su Haruna Idrisu minority leader ya sunan shi Asawasi MP Muntaka Mubarak especially su biyun ga da wasu dai aka sake su ana gwada an kawo new leadership an kawo Dr. Kesel Atufosin shi da sauran su dai aka replacing su da su Haruna ya kawo maganganu da yawa misunderstand wasu MP sun yi ra'ayi wasu kuma ba su yi ra'ayi ba to shi za mu duba how would NDC manage wanga issue yana da implication for 2024 election don mun san Haruna Idrisu da yana da influence Muntaka kuma yana da influence yana da supporters mun san Asawasi kuma it's a very strategic seat ne for NDC will this affect chances in NDC daga Asawasi Tamalema ko Northern region ma mun san influence Haruna Idrisu will it affect chances in NDC daga Northern region going into 2024 ko dai before then they wannan letter ke kanke na muka gan kaman an zana letter address to the Speaker of Parliament in the leadership NDC na gwada kaman an sake Haruna Idrisu da Muntaka yan Muntaka supporters da ba su ji dadi ba haka kuma wasu ma sun attack offices in daga Northern region we suna go we notice of changes in the leadership of the NDC party in Parliament. Letter was dated 13th January 2023 yeah it's a person they read saboda karancin lokaci na san dai kowa ya san dai abin da ya happen zigo jiya ba sakaran jiya mun ji Muntaka kuma ya fito ya ce kaman they were never consulted on this issue da kowa na gan kaman ya fi a ce prior consultation ya je amma kaman dai wasu suka zama dai suka ce bari mu doki wanga decision kuma wasu kuma sun argue naji Spio Gabriel naji Inus of saying the party doesn't need any consultation with even MPs to take one. It's the right of the party to who they deem fit into the minority leadership. There's one argument come back consult it's neither here nor there. Meaning the right can but two issues. Mungande back and forth. What's MPs ma we was send as a mesa was you did one attacking the party here do keep on.
Okay, so gaskiya na gode kwarai da wanga question. Kagan gaskiya ba the party's constitution is very silent kan consultation of parliamentary reps on the appointment of the
minority chief
their leaders. Kagan their leaders. Very silent on that. It's in the Akagankaban letter, you have to go straight to the Speaker of Parliament, the league. I don't think it's out of place for something of such sort to have happened. But Kagani akwe da yende ngaka yishi ya ikiyo Kagani wanga munchewe yenda aka ce a yishi an shurum kai. It has been silent. So that means the NDC hierarchy, NDC party, is sake their party leadership at any particular point in time without consulting anybody. Akanan constitution now, like constitutional was silent on that. Good. It's a one number wrong, but yen does execute one number. Kagang show what kind of a political party the NDC party is. Can understand? So suma nyam mutane ne suma suna da waran da ke son batun su suna da waran da ke support su ke mara musu baya suna da waran da kuma da suke wurin na livelihood so it depends on them being at the leadership of that particular party, especially in the parliament setting. Kagani, their livelihood depends on that. And so it is always ideal and it's always nice Kamamba, the party hierarchy would consult do a lot would do some consultation, in as much as Musan Kamamuna chicken political polarized community where information is extremely key. So that maybe 1 year information za sake minority the minority chief whip she ajuju yin magana kagani komi sake yende be kamachi ejeba, but it's still important and they may one nice way of consulting the parliamentary caucus, the minority parliamentary caucus. Kagani, so the mesa, su leader suni. One that actually selecting, she's a leading su. To, nde baya ansa muhankulan suduka, komi ya je daidai yanda ya kamaci eje ba sai kowa ya understand kaman okay mun yada kaman sake because shi ma Haruna Idrisu da Muntaka su ma tunda ma su ma shawari ke wurin nan aka tube mai shi aka sa su isa su da kansu sun san kaman lokacin su yayi ne ya ke a tube su amma yanda aka tube waɗanda aka tube su sannan su suka zo nan it was very evident kaman ba me shi ya tun san kaman lokaci ya ke inda za a tube shi ka understand
waɗansu ma kaman saw this coming so
that was before amma su waranga su ba su san they didn't see it coming say unfortunately ma kuma sai ka je ka ganshi kaman kan media bin ke circulate kaman ke leadership da ke da shin da zan kwashe hannunka to wannan ne bai yi ba especially at this very moment the Ghana kowa na complain kaman things are not going on well so muna expect kaman ba like the NDC would have used this opportunity to patch the way Kagani serve as a litmus test by the country because when you look at parliamentary reps from the majority side some fito kamang Akiri finance minister Kagani Ayikara Akiri finance minister president we are very she for some time eje fitanda eshiguna kuma NDC kuma sun support baya kamang Akiri finance minister esa inde ansan kamang this picking up what also some criticize president come on they crack the ship when necessary the kai to yanzu NDC probably would want to let the world believe let the country believe come on they are capable of changing whoever they want to change at any particular point in time when it deems necessary Kagani and so they are doing this as an example to prove to them that when given the mandate to rule the country, whoever is not performing well can be actually be removed. Then we need to do it in a very humane way, Kagani, in a very much, excuse my language, in a very positive way, such that Abinga sink very well. It's a need consultations, not only with even the minority caucus, but with other key stakeholders, the founding fathers. I don't know if
functional executive committee, functional executive all committee, NEC, FEC, the Soros look away by
so if all these things have not been done, then technically Yajai Kamamba wani individual witch hunt against
what's also read me somebody according to issues where Aruna Idris will be support campaign she chairman former general secretary said it's more like he's paying back for one that pupua ya maintain Ibrahim Wanga MP Bandana Ibrahim Ahmed ya maintain she so if to check come on all the MPs are supporting then general secretary in the Zashi chairmanship position she Aruna if to they deny one and the sauron. So I wasn't read meanings into one.
So you see, if you don't follow positive procedures or participatory procedures, definitely car force mutani suyimaka tunaninde susuka gadama. For all you know, maybe that was not the perception or that was not the reason. For all you know, maybe
no reason they were way. I find problem with Amade. One reason then because the election
is about
economy. The Wanga Musam background. She had two forces. He has economic background, finance.
Yes.
And a former deputy finance minister. But yes, I know. She's a magana about economy. Yes, I was in the hacker. They catch President Mahama Kuma, former President Mahama Kuma. There's a hacker and based on argument for it because it's about the economy. About the Fokuma JK.
Good.
That's the argument people are raising now.
So you see, that's what I'm saying. Come back. You can't if uncover the room. For people to speculate, then action can very weak because even explanation can never be hold water. And kagani inda ya consultation. Muna so mukiri mutaninga. Even by consultation, you inform them that pre-information. Let the two people know that okay, on this particular day, we will be taking off the seat as majority leaders.
Just to understand. It's a bit if too much.
It's a bit if too much. Say inform.
Even press conference, maybe they should be there.
Very good. Tunda Mamu say they would officially hand over to the gentleman, because as we all look at this is a problem for the NDC alone. But I think that it moves beyond the NDC, because the opposition plays a very vital role in the governance of the country. And if the main and the major opposition party in Ghana is currently
not
in the
divided
state,
in parliament.
Yes, it's in the state that is and it's divided in parliament. Then we are actually, preparing for doom. Now we are actually cooking for doom, because then no one will play very good. But when the oversight responsibility can abindeke go on chicken parliament. Kuma ba one day if you told the warrants informations and debate the kill. Ba warrants the also to touch the Moduka Muna the United Front Zamu vote against this. Moduka Mungayen during the E-levy debate, yet the AJ back and front. Assuming, if the minority caucus were divided because they were not in sync with that particular leadership, to Sheikh Agani then the E-levy deal and most of the things that came with it,
the national cathedral,
the national, very good
budget in the national,
it would have already been done at the expense of, excuse my language, at the expense of the citizens. Ama Yazumulu kamu understand okay, opposition yaje an investigator for the citizens on the ruling government in parliament, and so some of these things are coming out from parliament, and we are all seeing it. Yazu yai very important. Even Atama, the MPP, and every single person should actually play a vital role in ensuring the NDC house is solid and everything is moving on in its own way. The chairman, and then the bounce to the problem as
no I at two forcing ya comments ya accept ya zama ya ce ya kira Haruna Idrisuma Haruna ya bashi all the support in the yake need isa Haruna ma da su mun take ba su da problem da su at two forcing da su da wa dukan da aka san. Their only problem is the pre-information if about su amma they don't have problem with the current Mutani Nakasa as leadership.
No. And I don't think they should have. I don't think they should have. They are not supposed to have any reason with the current leadership. They don't need to have. They are worried, or they should be worried, which I know every well-meaning Ghanaian who understands the work of the opposition should also be worried with the procedure that was used in actually making them know, because when you argue, the letter was leaked when it was actually being sent to
whether it was leaked or no number
the Speaker of Parliament. Whether leaked or not, because whatever be the case, it would have come out in any way. So were you trying to? I don't get it. Was it that they wanted Haruna and Mutaka to get to Parliament, and the Speaker will now not regard them as speakers and then tell them to take the back seat and allow Atufosin to come? I don't know what kind of gymnastics they were expecting to have played in Parliament, but I don't think that was the best way out. But Kumanaji, a lot of people timing. You see, timing is also not wrong. If only the communication has been very well. Even their reason of wanting to have an economic person leading the minority in Parliament, basically for those discussions, is also not a really wrong decision, Kagani. But then the process will actually make people punch holes in the reason, which is extremely important, because obviously Haruna leaving from the being taken off the minority leadership, and then Muntaka maybe aya sas one also sensitive places in there. Zeyama Eba at forcing a lot of Kwazo, because probably as they are there, they might not pay attention to some other things that are going on at the background. And so maybe they're coming back. They haven't been in
watching
front
from
there.
Behind.
Yes, they haven't been in front there before, and then now coming back to watch from behind will give them a wider view of a lot of things that would help the minority, Kagani, and then to help the discourse in Parliament. Ama yanda bi eje zamanga even agency in any which way. Shede muche we mutani de so dark and task to take she come on, it's normal, and so everything should
So what do you see with regards to Asawasi Kamakana for the northern region that Sauro Musa influence the implication for 2024? This may breed one apathy, maybe when she beje vote my MPP. I'm a saboda maybe Anchire Muntakaya Fushi beje vote my by NDC. She has a magida on the voting. So how should NDC manage one issue? There's a bar Muntakaze if to it okay, so Yaira Susa Satasu admit. Nasande there's no way Kumasaki current leadership. There's no way Ansake Su to force in Kuma. Amade how should they manage wanga issue? There's if to Muntakamaze chemo supporters su Yankuri aje abar komi ya konta Haruna Idris zai chemo muta supporter mungama an attack wasu daga northern wasu constituency ko executives dinda suke magana batun da issue gana.
So ina gan kamar yake lokacin da NEC the FEC
Functional Executive Committee,
NEC the FEC the leadership
Council of Elders now.
Yes, are quickly because ina gan kamar magana ga echi har next week ya yi kawo party now some little bit of masala. So yafi an neme yanda za ya yi atataka su akama su ai musu magana inde akwai waransu opportunities kuma da za expose musu kuma su bari su understand kama it's in the best interest of the party because kowa da yake wurin na cikin minority na is there in the interest of the party. So ina gan kaman in aka bari kowa ya understand kaman what happened is in the best interest of the party, but just that the process was what was not right. Ina gan su duka su understand kuma sun san yadda za su yi su communicate to followers and then su understand kama okay abin ya tun happen mistake ni amma yafi mu gada pieces mu je gaba. So it's possible anya abridge this gap because I think it's one of the things that has happened in the NDC party. Akwe worse things they happened to NPP party also in the past, especially when they were in opposition. Kuma they were able to move past this and then actually get victorious in 2016. So this is not really much of a big deal. It can be dealt with if only they want to deal with it. Yes.
It's our final thoughts on the issues.
So I think I was expecting more leadership from the NDC leadership, that's the NEC, with regards to this because if we were chastising the current government for not being participatory, not consulting before taking some decisions, example Cathedral and COVID funds, even IMF, if you are complaining, then you also try as much as you can to make sure that you are living you are walking the talk that you are actually pushing out. And so it's something that they probably Yafi Suduba she to work on it quickly. Going forward, I expect and live in a positive way because the country needs a serious opposition front now.
Yes, I can currently the opposition and the very well.
Kafan
nambe base.
It's just that Suinsa Wangana can break. They are actually on break
soon come February 7th.
Yes, Suinsa. That this is a nice opportunity for the MPP to use to do whatever they want to do.
They definitely take advantage.
Yes, Kagani. So
they were when you had to cry more than them, they were fighting for Muntaka.
That's the only way.
A weakened opposition, though, they are to the advantage,
of course,
of their majority in Wanga.
Definitely, they will have those things. They will have to do that because definitely, as they begin to cry for some of the people, it deepens the divide. And as the divide deepens, it's an opportunity for whoever is going to be benefiting from it. So Naga is one of those things. Yes.
Yes, sir. Jama'a nan gane za mu kawo karshen Al'amuran Gari edition na yau. Kana da wani final talks?
Ina da wani final talks da zan kara. First of all, Hajiya Salma, that is the matan former chief imam Madina Zongo, Mala Yunus, yau Skunta Firdaus makarantanta suna graduation isu.
Baina news na wurin.
Baina news ma na wurin. Isa muna gayyata kowa izo wurin. Aka dan kuma ni Madina West Development Foundation, WAMADEF, suna da wani ruwa, that's Wama Drop. The suke kawo just to support the community's development. Isa yafi muduka mu yasuneshi support agenda na suke kawo. Haka kuma ni sarkin Madina Zongo, that is Chief Ali Abdullahi Dagadu, cikin week in Garan Thursday ya je ya meet German ambassador. saboda aya duba yanda za a yi a develop the skill set of mata cikin Madina Zungu. The its environs. It's a registration now ongoing. In kana son ka koyo ko wani aikin hannu to shi ka je office sarki ka zana sunanka shi aya a support nka yanda e kamace. Muna gaida young concern Madina youth movement duka baki daya the leadership in the suka goda with regards to the community consultations in the suka yi, because concern Madina youth suna develop 10-year development plan for Madina Zongo and its environs. It's
10 years development.
Yes, 10 years development.
I think we will find time to talk about this.
So muna gaida
another platform inshallah. To jama'a nan ga zamu dasa aya zamu kawo karshen edition mu na yau na Al'amuran Gari da muka duba labaran nan da yazo cikin wanga mako. Mun duba good for oil inda wasu suka raise concerns about the whole deal. Government kuma na sai kan kafan shi, this is the best to forest exchange mu da sauransu, batun shanin kudi city depreciation da sauransu ya duba maganci wannan. Sannan kuma mun duba batun IPAC kuma da Peace Council ke kira NDC su komo zuwa IPAC Inter-Party Advisory Committee inda political parties na ke meet electoral commission su duba su sansata su ya su kawo wasu reform cikin electoral process going into 2024. To NDC they way from May 2020 they sun ce su da electoral commission ko dai IPAC number su they don't have anything to do with it, because so they want suka kawo ra'ayin su ba doka ana da shirka da samun duba Peace Council na ba NDC hankuri su kuma back to the IPAC saboda ya zama a sassanta kan issue. Sannan the last but not the least mun san issue this week dai Aliyu ana cikin batun minority reshuffle leadership in parliament inda party ya ce kamar an sake Haruna Idrisu Muntaka da sauransu aka kawo sabon atu Dr. Kisalatu Forsin inda shi ya zama new minority leader, shi zai jagoranci NDC daga parliament. Ya kawo wasu hayaniya da yawa, wani zanga-zanga dai shi Muntaka dai da sauran sun ce kamar su ba consult su ba yi musu shawara before aka take wannan decision. Mun gan press conference da yi shi da su Cletus Aboka da sauransu. Mun duba dai ya Council of Elders, the Functional Executive Committee, the National Executive Committee that was to handle wanga issue wanda bai affect NDC going into 2024. Isa nan ga dai issues na muka duba kenan. Muna fata mu duka mun yi karatu cikin wanda ya taimaka mini ya kawo ra'ayin shi ne Abubakar Ishaq Ziko Newton, educationist ne kuma social commentator ne ya kawo ra'ayin shi na muka tattauna batun da al'amuran gari, labaran da ya zo cikin jaridunmu kuma da kuma online. Nima sunana Jama Muhammad Ibrahim inda muka kawo muku technical mail na led by producer Ilham, mun gode kware. Sannan mako ga da su kuma mun gode inda ka bari komai je daidai. Kasance da muku ta duban BEIN TV. Allah ya kai mu rai da lafiya. Next week kuma mun kawo muku wani da dishin na al'amuran gari. Ku ta duban BEIN TV, connected to your world. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala.